And like Gerald, thank you for having me on, and it was a pleasure to be here.
Great. Thank you so much, Tony. Appreciate you being on.
My pleasure.
And you'll come back again? I bet you'll come back?
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much. We will see you soon. And we're back here with Center Radio. I'm going to hand it right over to Sybil. You can really tell Brandon's not here, can't you?
Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Okay. Okay. Hi, Brian. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We have Bryant Pinder. He is Director of Youth Services at the local YMCA here in Indiana County. We are, I guess as a parent, I have a lot of questions. Everyone misses the YMCA. It's been shut down, we know, since March 16th. So just starting out, how has the YMCA been helping people, helping members stay healthy during the pandemic? I know for myself, there are about 2 classes offered online, and I take a couple of those through your instructors. One's Tracy Red, and yep, yep. So what other things are going on that the YMCA is doing to help people stay healthy here in the community?
You know, we are trying to do as much as possible, which everybody is, which is extraordinary. I think the one great thing about our why that we have been working on is not staying one-dimensional, and I think that kind of makes everybody kind of do that with this pandemic, kind of branching out into new ventures. And I think this is something that we were able to do. So not only, like you said, about our classes that we do, of course, as you can see the schedule, we post that every week. This week, I know we are doing why members give back. And so we are asking for all of our Y members to help donate different cards, supplies, money, finances, all that stuff like that to our local services, our firemen, our police officers, everybody to continue to give back. I think we did something today with that. So that's extraordinary things that we're doing. We also have Heroes of Indiana County. So we're continuing to shine light on people who are just making great marks to help out our community. So those are some great things that we're doing. We are contacting our Silver Sneaker members. So these are individuals who are 65 and up, just to continue to stay engaged with them, making sure that they're doing great. We provide classes for them actually as well, so that they can continue to stay mobile and continue to stay as fit as they can within their homes. We provide educational things, as well as what Mr. David said. We try to do reading. We provide resources, academic resources for K to second grade. We're working on doing some Zoom meetings with some of our members to provide as a program. Trying to think, we're doing a lot. We are trying to touch every base. We do our mindfulness stuff. We still do our nutrition classes. We are still trying to promote healthy recipes. We have our CEO and as well as other directors such as myself, just continuing just to post videos of things that we're doing to stay encouraged, and to encourage our members, inspire them, challenge them, motivate them, to continue to strive, even if we're, confined inside of our homes. We're trying to touch every base that we can. And so it's been a challenge, but it's also been a great reward, because we are reaching and we're doing things that we generally could not do when we were physically inside of the YMCA. So we're really able to, adapt and even kind of enhance our programs, enhance our YMCA to reaching new heights that we didn't, we couldn't do if we weren't shut down. So, we're doing a lot, even though we all wish that we were physically back in the YMCA. So
I know they say that, what is it? That necessity is the mother of invention. It sounds like the YMCA is like so many of our faith organizations and nonprofit organizations
mhm.
and small businesses taking advantage of social media.
Yeah.
And we have to, thank the good Lord for social media, because without it, we've been getting a lot of free services, Zoom and things like that, to where we can stay in touch with each other. And I'm glad to hear that the YMCA is doing so much to still stay in contact with members in the general community.
Mhm.
Now that we're moving from red to yellow, what does that look like for the YMCA? Because I know it's multifaceted. It has some areas that are childcare, so that would fall under the childcare regulations, and then there's also the fitness and the swimming pool. So what does it look like for the YMCA under yellow?
Not much is changing with us, unfortunately, with us being in the yellow, because of a lot of our programs are in the green phase. But that doesn't stop us from continuing to prepare for the green phase. I think that's really the biggest thing that we're doing now, knowing that we're progressing from red to yellow, and now since we're in yellow, really trying to game plan for green, and hopefully that comes, soon within the summer. We're hoping that we can get a permit to offer our summer classes and our summer programs. So that includes camp. That's something that we are, still being very hopeful to obtaining. It's not something that we don't believe that we cannot make possible, I should say. So that's something that we're doing. But of course, we're kind of waiting for the Department of Health to kind of spearhead what we need to do. So, a lot of that stuff is going to look different. Our fitness centers, of course, that stuff is going to look a little bit different. How we schedule classes, those things are going to look different. There's going to be a lot of, gaps in between our classes where we're going to have to do some sanitation and clean, the weights and clean the fitness center, wipe off the gym, clean up the basketballs, our rec center where a lot of our teens, they migrate in there. We're going to have to do some times where we're going to have to either ask them to help and be a volunteer and a servant to help us clean stuff off that they enjoy, engaging with their peers. So a lot of things right now in yellow haven't changed for us, but it's preparing us to get ready for the yellow.
So if I'm hearing you right, I'm hearing that although it is a youth camp,
Mhm.
you're not under the same regulations as daycare centers that can open now. So that your summer camp is pretty much on the same realm as the fitness center as far as gyms, and you can't really plan for summer camp until you go green, correct? Am I hearing you?
Yes, for the most part, yeah. So we've been preparing for summer camp since January, and we actually are still continuing to plan for summer camp even as of today. With hiring staffing and preparing trainings, and talking to our families to let them know, we still anticipate to having a summer camp because we know our families need that, especially with moving into the yellow. We know that families that are going to be going back to their businesses are going to need childcare. And if a lot of childcare isn't open, we're working with, talking with the state and different people, representatives that we need to talk to let them know, like, we want to provide this service to help out our community. So it won't look, like a normal, camp, or it won't look kind of like a normal childcare facility, because of course everybody's going to have their mask on, things of that nature. But we are hoping to provide some type of service in that childcare realm. And so, though right now it kind of looks a little iffy, we're still keeping our fingers crossed and staying hopeful for those things.
Yeah, because I know it's a little disappointing, because I know for parents to have to go back to work. I have a friend, she works for a local business here, and they are following social mitigation, and they're one of the businesses that had people work from home, Well, they said by June 1st, even though they have 2 weeks still at home, they're going back to their office June 1st, and she has no idea where she's going to put the kids. And there's limited daycare services here in Indiana, especially for kids that are older than 5 years of age. So
Yeah.
I was just kind of wondering also on a personal level how that's how does that affect summer plans? Will you offer other youth programs then, other than childcare or camps or anything like that during the summer?
Yeah, so we're hoping that we can continue to offer, our youth sports programs and stuff like that. We're also have a specialty camp, so that's dealing with archery and fishing, things of that nature. We're still hoping to be able to promote and to actually have and run those type of programs. I think a lot of it, yeah, it is up in the air, as we all know, but we're not crossing those lines out to say that we are not doing that. Even with our pool, we're working right now. Our CEO actually and our associate executive, they are actually organizing a team with other people within the state to figuring out the best and most effective way to serve our different YMCAs and facilities that have pools, because we want to be able to provide that service. Of course, you can't wear a pool, you can't wear a mask in the pool. So you also, it's going to be really hard to be 6 feet away as you're swimming, so those things are going to be kind of the challenges. But, our YMCA, we're continuing to find the loopholes. We're continuing to find the cracks that we can be able to serve, because that's what our why, we drive off of, being able to be a servant to our community. So, yeah, so we're really trying to find different ways to be engaged within our community.
Again. Well, thank you for having us as we leave. I'd just like, if someone wants to join the YMCA or wants to become a part of your new innovative programming, where would they look to get that information?
So they can contact Jessica Walker. So that'll be all one word, Jessica Walker at icymca.org. She is in charge of our membership, and so she will be able to help to pinpoint you to whatever services that you're seeking questions for, as well as for what it looks like if you want to become a member of our YMCA, different things like that. So she would be probably the hub right now of pinpointing who to talk to, and of course, looking at our social media, specifically Facebook. A lot of our programs and events and resources come from that Facebook page. So if you have questions about anything, you can just go straight to our Facebook page, and somebody will also direct you to wherever you need to go.
Oh, wonderful. All right. Well, thank you so much for talking to us. Perhaps we can have you back again once things get rolling and we're back into green.
Sure. Let me know.
Wonderful. Sure thing. All right. Take care.
You too.
And we're back here for Center Webcast. This is episode 22. We are here at the end. I appreciate folks that have stuck around. We'll do a chance for a little bit of feedback or reaction from our guests. But before we do that, I, from our center board, wanted to make sure to put in a plug about voting. I heard a recent message from our Commissioner Shireen Hess to make sure that folks recognize that voting in person on June 2nd will be safe. The folks at the county will be taking a lot of new protective measures, including plexiglass cards, sanitizer, gloves, masks, etc., and will provide a pen for every individual that they can take with them. So that's for in-person voting. There is also an opportunity for mail-in voting as well. If folks are interested to do mail-in voting, they should register by May 18th. That's just 4 days. That's just 4 days away. People can go to votespa.com. I think, Quintina, I sent you the wrong link. But votes, that's got the important dates as well. May 18th, that's just 4 days. If you want to register to vote, you can do that at votespa.com. It must be registered as either Republican or Democrat. You can change your registration at that time as well. So please do go and vote, either in person June 2nd or by mail. So let's open it up. Linda and Dave and Tony, Bryant, Sybil. I feel like, first of all, we have like this really strong downtown Indiana contingent. I love it. But did folks have reactions to kind of where we're at? Oh, I'm sorry. Eric just told me May 18th is the deadline to register. Mail-in deadline is May 26th. I'm glad I got some backup out there. Thanks for Eric Parker's our engineer out there.
Eric.
So I just wanted to throw it back and see if there's anything else we want to talk about a little bit about reopening, about going into yellow. Any reactions from folks that are still here?
I just wanted to say that during my segment, I don't want to discourage anyone for applying for assistance. As I said, the EIDL program is now just for agricultural businesses, but if you already had an application in, it is still in the pipeline on a first come, first served basis. So you could get that funding. PPP applications are still being taken by some banks. For example, InFirst is still taking them. So don't feel like, the numbers are so dismal that you shouldn't even try. Reach out to your local bank, ask them what other programs might be available, reach out to the Center for Entrepreneurial Opportunities, the CEO, which is part of the County Office of Planning and Development, ask them what other programs might be available. Don't give up. There is still some money out there. It's just that it's not as free flowing as perhaps people outside small businesses think it might be.
Sure. And so folks could go to their own local bank if they don't necessarily have, there are some very small businesses that don't necessarily have a local bank. And if you don't have an account at, say, InFirst and you're still interested, can you still go and ask them about it?
I think it's still worth a conversation. They are an SBA designated bank. They do small business loans. It's really individualized to each bank now, which ones are still accepting applications, which ones are not, and what their policies are as far as accepting them. So I would definitely reach out to them and ask and see what you have to do to get into the application process.
It's worth an application. Dave, I wanted to ask you, so we deal with parking a lot. You and I have had conversations about parking, and Dave, you once had a really great quote. You said that Indiana doesn't really have a parking problem. We have a perception of a parking problem. And I think that's totally accurate. Through this pandemic, we've done a number of different things to relieve some parking restrictions, and nonetheless, we still get a lot of hate mail about what we're doing on parking. How's Blairsville doing? Have you guys made many adjustments in terms of enforcement and regulations throughout the pandemic here?
The most noticeable adjustments have been those businesses, for instance, Blairsville Pharmacy, agreeing with Envy Bistro, that are using that curbside takeout. Those meters have been blocked so that they're not paying a fee to use them. And that if you needed to pick up your pharmacy, or whatever, you can kind of in and out. Trying again to enhance that experience. That great, we're doing curbside, but we're making it harder. So that'd be one of the most noticeable things that you'll notice with some of the parking being accessible for those pickups.
Yeah. Parking is important. As a biker, I don't always understand, but I know parking is important. Any other comments out there that we can bring up here as we wrap up?
Yeah, we just want to make sure that we did not give people the dates of when they can request a mail-in ballot. You can still request a mail-in ballot up to May 26th. So it's May 26th, you can still request a mail-in ballot. And if you want one, you can go to www.votespa, that's VOTESPA.com. Paper forms are usually available different places. Here, you can also go to the courthouse and to request it. I just had an aunt who's a sometimes voter in person, but she really, really loves the idea of mail-in ballots. And she called me and I was shocked. She was like, Sybil, I got this thing about I could request a mail-in ballot. Is it true? And I said, yes. And I explained everything to her. And so the process is done. She requested her ballot. She's waiting for it to come in the mail. She's going to send it off. So I think if you're one of the people, she has a sickly husband. She doesn't like to be out and about in the community too much because she doesn't want to bring back anything to him. So if you're one of those people that are, trying to practice social distancing, mitigation efforts, anything like that, a mail-in ballot would be your ticket. Also, it's just easy. You can fill out your ballot, put it in the mail, and then you're done. Don't have to worry about getting into line, standing in line, waiting in line, or anything. So.
And it's a secure
There's-
system, right? This is it's a secure way to vote.
Yes, it is. 100%. The military's been doing it forever.
Yep, it's a very secure way to vote. So that's fantastic. I think that's our show. It's Sybil. What do we have for next Tuesday? What do we have for next
We
week?
have more
We're
small
still
business-
working on this, right?
Yeah, but we have a few small business people coming. I know Quintina's going to join us. She's one of those unfortunate businesses who haven't been able to do anything during, there's no curbside or anything for salons. So she's still shut down. She's going to talk about that a little bit. We have some other downtown businesses that's willing to come on and talk about what they've gone through since they've been shut down, what the process is like for them. And we're going to talk a little bit more to downtown businesses. So that's going to be very helpful, I think.
Dave, do you think you can help us find some folks in Blairsville that could let us know how they're dealing with things down there?
Hey,
Just
Dave,
ask,
what
I'm
about
sure they'll
Revelia?
got- I'm sorry, go ahead, Sybil.
What about Revelia? Is that how you pronounce the restaurant? I keep hearing about
You
it.
know what? I actually have a sandwich waiting right now for me when I get off from Rebellious. I'd love to come on.
Yes, yeah,
You know, interestingly enough, if you've been in that downtown area, Market Street Resale did an online auction. He'd be happy to come on. I know there's been a big lack of quality Chinese food. China King is back up.
Yes. What
Hey.
happened? Everyone's talking about that. I mean, like, I have my ex-husband shipping it in for me from Latrobe when he comes to get the kids. I'm like, bring the Chinese with you.
So you can,
Upstairs,
yeah, I
I
know
want
that they
the
just
Chinese
opened up.
food. What's up with that?
They opened
What-
back up today. I went to two other things I just did want to make a point. Bringing on small businesses, absolutely. I'm sure I can find a few that are very well spoken. Would love to talk about the climate in downtown. I did want to mention also, if you've noticed on my Facebook page or others, Blairsville has just made available 36 lots that we're selling in the Diamond area for business and or residential. I think 2 lots have already sold. So that's interesting. Again, as we see the pandemic, hopefully we come out of it, we can see some upgrowth there. And the other thing I did want to mention that last summer, a very popular event in downtown Blairsville was the Blairsville Hunger Games. We have canceled it this year, but have hopefully postponed it to bring it back in September. In those planning stages, it was going to be twice the size, more vendors, more activities. So again, if you can come on, we can talk about some of the things that we're hoping to redo. And by all means, I'm sure there'd be some downtown businesses that would love to come in. Sybil, I highly recommend the Pittsburgh turkey sandwich.
What is it? The Pittsburgh turkey? Do they have anything vegetarian? They have vegetarian sandwiches?
They have salads. They do. And they have big desserts.
Why do people always ask that?
They
Oh,
can
I'm
special
really
order.
Yeah.
I live with a
Hey,
vegetarian.
Dave,
Vegetarians hate here, and it's just egg salad.
yeah. Well, I have a question. So did you say China King is open or isn't open?
China King is open
Down in Blairsville.
down in Blairsville on Market Street. Just today.
So we
I
must
have
wonder
one-
about, okay.
I've
Also,
one more thing to ask you about, Dave, and ask if anybody else can chime in too. And I think this is it's an idea I've been thinking about from wearing my borough hat and wearing sort of thinking about how to build Indiana, how to make Indiana this cool. We all know Indiana, Blairsville, the same way. We've had a brighter days, and we are all sitting on this call trying to figure out how to build these communities, and we all know the challenges ahead of us, and we're all working our butts off. And you guys probably more than I do. One of the things
Gerald,
I've been thinking about.
We've talked in the past. How can we link our bike trails
Yeah.
from Blairsville to Homer Center to Indiana? The bike paths are still open. The river's still open. You can still dock your kayaks and stay.
I want to get down there. I want to connect this. One
Let's
thing
do
I was
this.
thinking about, though, is that we have an opportunity here. A lot of people right now are working from home. Lots and lots of folks are working from home, and they're realizing they're going to work from home. And that may happen after the pandemic when people can go back. They might say, hey, well, turns out I can work from home. And when I think about, what are opportunities for communities like Blairsville, communities like Indiana, to attract people to live there, we don't necessarily have a lot of jobs that are opening up, but we do have opportunities for folks who do want to maybe work from home and commute from Pittsburgh. And so, trying to think about how to build our communities as a commuter place, as a place that you can work from home, because it is, nobody here's got to be convinced how awesome our communities are. Small, walkable, lots of things around. Really are great if you are able to, if you have that opportunity to work from home from some position. Have you thought about sort of moving forward? How do you take this pandemic and find the opportunities?
Well, I can tell you that I've proven to myself how effective I could be working from home. Because again, you had to, and then realized you're right. You can work from a community such as Blairsville or Indiana within an hour and a half, be in Pittsburgh, within 20 minutes, be in Monroeville. With the added attractions of the rivers and the trails and still low tax bases, low housing costs, some beautiful buildings. But again, as we move through this, I think, as I mentioned before, necessity kind of gets us to the next stage. How do we band closer together? How do we use bike paths to connect, Blairsville, Homer Center, Indiana, and so on and so forth? How do we connect our rec centers with S&T Arena and the Blairsville and the YMCA? How do we find ways that, it can be done?
We need to create an identity for Indiana County and our community. That's where, and that might be the angle to go. Maybe get some high-tech jobs coming here. But you need an identity. We need to have a reason for people to want to be here and to come here. And I think, I think it should be tourism at some point. Just, I think that's the angle we got to take. It's not industry. It's not manufacturing. So what is it? And that's what you guys are talking about now. That's what brings people to this area, like for opportunities like that, to be able to enjoy the outdoors and enjoy the atmosphere.
I agree, Tony. And I think the big piece is just, the collaboration between all these communities. We're stronger as one, as we're seeing with this COVID, whatever that idea or identity that we find, working together. I got to be honest, Gerald, I'm thrilled to be on, a cast that you kind of said, people have kind of pointed the finger and said it's 1570. Well, guess what? It's not. And I'm glad to see that, that idea collaboratively, we're all in this together. That's one thing you continue to hear through COVID-19, even if it was COVID nothing, we're all in this together to promote Indiana County.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys being on. I really do. I don't want to take up more of your time. I think, through this, the thing that's just been, has been completely so apparent is the way folks have come together. And I think you're exactly right, Dave. There's opportunities that we see here moving forward that, we can be better. That's our episode 22 for us. Thank you very much. I appreciate everybody coming on. Have a great day. We'll be back on Sunday for a little bit of a re-show of what we've seen here. And then we'll be back next Tuesday with some more small businesses. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Everyone leave it.
Is it off live?
Are we offline? Where's Brian? Is he still there? Hey, Brian. Is he
Yeah.
still there? Hey, G, are we off?
No. Hold on.